Let me ask Dr. Asumdi, the question. Hold on. The test, because he said when you come in, the symptoms are malaria-like, and then typhoid and all. But is it possible to run a test and immediately get to see that it's Lassa? I mean, generally, or is there a specialized unit you have to go? Because when you go to the hospital, the probably you go and run a test. Yes. Is there a specialized place you go to run a test for Lassa, or can any laboratory in any hospital where you go to run that test and see that it's Lassa?
No.
Okay.
In Nigeria today, as far as I know, only 2 hospitals, 2 centers can diagnose Lassa. The Lagos University Teaching Hospital and the Irua Specialist Hospital. Irua because that is the specialist hospital for Lassa in Nigeria. It's like a second home. In Sierra Leone, they also have a problem with Lassa. But quite unlike Nigeria, they've changed their national psyche of you have fever, is malaria. In Sierra Leone, you have fever, is Lassa. Such that everybody says, okay, take a step back and do all the things you need to do, even before you even get to the hospital.
Okay.
In Sierra Leone, you will see the relatives wearing gloves, putting on face mask, because the first thing that comes to their mind is Lassa.
So that's from the top down.
Exactly. So even the community is Lassa aware, such that everybody becomes careful at the first, even before getting to the hospital. So by the time they get to the hospital, they now say, okay, let's know what to do. They can't diagnose Lassa in all hospitals in Sierra Leone, but everybody's already careful. Now, where I'm going is this. We don't need to wait until we can all diagnose Lassa to be Lassa aware, including the health workers. Now, how does that help us from home to hospital, from hospital to containment? If everybody now knows that, you don't have to go to a chemist to first go and get a malaria drug. In Nigeria today, let's be very honest, the way things are, most people when they are ill, they just go straight to the chemist and get a drug. And then they say, I have fever, and they give you any anti-malaria, whether it is what is in the national guideline or they just take it and they move on. But this is the question. Now we're getting to Lassa, as the commissioner and the CEO of NCD has said, we should now be Lassa aware, including the chemists, including at home. Now, for the chemists and the hospitals, even the small clinics, malaria diagnostic test kit is called RDT. It's free. The drugs is free. So now it takes just less than 30 minutes. They prick your finger, they put it on that kit, and in 20 minutes they are sure whether you have a malaria or not. Now, if you are sure this person has a malaria, it's very easy. Move on and treat. If you're not sure, if that test kit tells you it is no, please don't be smarter than the test kit. That's where health workers miss it nowadays. They say, maybe this test kit is not telling us the truth. Then keep on treating malaria.
Because this temperature is very high.
Exactly.
So it's malaria.
You cannot be smarter than a kit, than chemicals. So, and it is free. That's it. So the minute that one comes in, please change focus. Think of Lassa. Because if we're able to be careful, because if you think of it, you start being careful. Therefore, what the director said about secondary contact, you may not be able to prevent the person that now brought it. But every other contact will not take precaution. You create an isolation space. Even in small primary care centers, you don't need a whole ward to isolate a patient. If you get a bed and you put a screen, hospital screen, and you put a small rope that nobody else goes in here except one person, then we are okay with isolation so it doesn't spread. Then contact the state and federal teams. It's their own job to come take the sample, take it to any of these 2 closest diagnostic places, and within a day they will tell you it is likely or not. So what you are looking at is within 2 days you are sure this person does not have malaria and may have Lassa if you go through this chain. And then we are through. But when you start playing I'm very smart, I've treated malaria for 3 days because you don't use the kit. Then you not treat this malaria for 3 days. You're like, maybe it's typhoid. Then you spend another 4 days treating typhoid.
You know, you've talked about from the house to the hospital and then to containment.
Yes.
You've not talked about in the house in terms of like food, apart from covering your food.
Yes.
Are there other procedures or things that can be done at home to both manage or contain or even prevent? But we'll come back to that when we come back from this break. Don't go away.